it's your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, and today we're gonna get into some new stuff from Pat Mcgrath. So she sent me this cute little envelope. I did buy one of her lip shines after the fact, after they had first came out with the rose palette. Where this palette right here, because I believe that's when those came out with this palette. Don't quote me though. But I'm gonna use this today. I have the shade New Venus, of course, because that was the most popular one, so I had to get the most popular one. Let me open up this envelope so you can see what it looks like. I hope you have grabbed a snack, because mother got 3 different what do you call it? 3 different quads in here. I want to use all 3 quads because if you all don't remember, I did not get the Star Wars collection, so I want to like experience those 2 on their own and then use the one in the middle as a new one. So this is what the packaging looks like. Let me take it out. That's what the palette looks like. And she put a sticker on the back with all the shades on it instead of putting the little extra card in there. But with this kind of packaging, I figured she couldn't put the card in there. So she went down on the packaging. I noticed everybody's showing like these little ribbons or whatever. So it has like these little, little ribbons in the palette, if you will. I don't really care about the ribbons. I know some people said they were annoyed, like too much mouth cut off hers. And I think somebody I watched end up like breaking the ribbons on theirs because I guess they pulled on the palette too aggressively or something. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I hope you bought a snack because I'm trying to use all 3 of these quads in this one video today. Oh, an interesting thing, I was watching Morgan Turner, and she was talking about how she thought the Jackie palette would pair really well with this palette because, as you all saw when I showed it, there's only like 3 mattes in here. So it's like 1, 2, wait, no, 1, 2, 3. So it's only 3 mattes in this palette. So it's like, So I did bring my Jackie palette with me, and we might just go ahead and, you know, have a nice little palette mashup situation since I'm going to need some additional shimmers. Additional mattes to this look. I do want to do palette mashup with this palette because I do feel like the color stories do look quite nice together, if you will. Now I'll open up the palette in a second after I get done priming my eyes so you can see what I'm talking about. I did not pull out any brushes to be prepared as usual because, you know, I'm just very unprepared. I did buy the Dark Star mascara as well, but I'm going to save that to use when we get the quads in because I did order all 3 of the quads, and then I ordered the, what is it? The highlighter as well. So that cost me, I think, like $200 or something like that. Because I got, I didn't see that they had a bundle, so I ordered them individually. So I had to pay a little extra, but it was like, it's okay. I wanted to make sure I got them, and I figured the bundle would sell out quickly. So I was like, if I buy them individually, then I know I'll get them for sure, as opposed to trying to wait around and grab the bundle, and then everybody else grab the bundle from underneath me to film with, and then I'm just out here looking crazy. So I was like, no, we're not gonna risk it. I'll pay the extra whatever dollars, because it's not like she's not giving me free shipping anyway. So I'm gonna try it on New Venus right now because my lips are dry. I took off the lip gloss I had on just so I could put this on. This is what the lipstick looks like, and it has a little round thing on it, but it doesn't have where you can actually tie it, so she just put it on there. This is what the color looks like. I don't really do lip shine, so I'm curious to see how I'm going to like this. So let's put it on and then we'll find out. I'm not gonna put a lip liner on with it just because I'm like, it's a lip shine. I don't feel the need. Now I feel like I should have, just because it seems like it's kind of a milky color for a nude. But after I shoot this video, I gotta go run errands anyway, so I have a mask on, so there's no point of putting, you know, like a lip liner on with this. I'm just having it on right now for the video, and then I'm gonna go do the stuff that I normally do today and call it a day. Probably take a nap and then like go home later on tonight because Adriangameover gets back tonight, I believe. I'm not sure, so don't quote me. I think he gets back tonight. His dad might let him stay later though, because you all know Columbus Day is tomorrow, so kids don't have to go to school tomorrow, so it won't be like he has to make sure he does all his e-learning and stuff. So anyway, this is what Morgan Turner was talking about though, the Jackie palette. If you have not seen it, I don't know where you've been and I don't know why you haven't, but this is what it looks like. And as you can see, the color stories do look kind of similar. See, because that one right there, and then Jackie's palette right here. So I'll back up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I feel like the color stories do look somewhat similar. I feel like Jackie just put in more mattes than Mother did, but you know, that's coming in handy now because we're gonna have to use some of these mattes. So let's get started on the eye look. So I want to start off with this little quad right here. This was the quad that I really wanted from the Star Wars one, so I'm definitely gonna start with this quad first. Then I'll go on with the one with all shimmers where we'll use Jackie's palette, and then I think we'll just use this last one with the mattes in here. So we'll use Jackie's palette for one quad, and that'll pretty much be it. So I'm gonna use the newest shades in the middle last and use the older ones first. So I just wanted to explain before I start just rubbing stuff on my eyeballs. That brush. I'm trying to grab out all the brushes I think I might need. This brush. Where's my detail crease brush? I know I have two of them somewhere. Oh, there you are, darling. I'm not going to do any lower lash line work till like probably the very last look. So with the new palette, we'll do some lower lash line work. For right now, we just going to, you know, kill on lower lash line work. So the very last look with all the new colors is the one we're going to start off with. So we're going to go into, of course, the darkest shade in the palette to put on my outer V. So that'll be this shade right here. We're going to go into this shade. And I'm curious if the formula of these is going to be the same as like the bigger ones, since, you know, it's way cheaper. I can't tell you if the formula is going to be the same as the Star Wars palette, just because, you know, I didn't have that one. But it seems to be blending exactly the same. It seems nice and smooth and, you know, working great in the crease. So and I'm only going to do one eye with this look, so that way we can do the other eye with the other look, and then the new palette will do both eyes at the same time. So and I'm just excited for everything in this palette. It's not like it's one particular quad I was most excited about. I mean, I was excited that the Star Wars ones were in there, since, you know, I guess you realize everybody didn't like Star Wars, or that everybody wasn't going to get it, and people that are a fan of her stuff want to have everything. Only thing that sucks is for the people who already like bought the Star Wars stuff, they're like, you know, probably feel some type of way because they like, you know, they should have got it sooner. But in all fairness, like the people that got it kind of cheated when they got it, because I heard that the, she had sent the wrong launch date and the website went up before it was supposed to. So it's like they bought it before they were supposed to. So the people like me who waited, some other said it was supposed to launch, who went to grab it, like, you know, we ended up not getting it because people went before they were supposed to. Because that's how I missed out on the Decadence palette. Because I was going to buy the Decadence palette in the Star Wars packaging just because I wanted the Decadence palette. But, you know, it ended up working out for me. God made a way, because she ended up re-releasing it, and I got the gold packaging even though I didn't buy the Star Wars collection. So I was super excited about that. I mean, super excited like a lame. Let's swatch some of these shimmers, y'all, so I can determine what I should put toward the front of the lid, because I'm thinking about doing like a three-way lid situation. I don't know. Let's see though, because I know I'm going to use this dark purple on the outer V. I feel like we all knew that this one's going to go on the outer V, but like toward the middle and the front, I'm thinking about doing like this shade right here in the middle, and this one toward the front. I don't know. Let's see. And then maybe like this one in the inner corner or something like that on top of this gold shade, because I want to try to use just about every shade in the quad. So that's what those look like. Oh, it's turning blue, but when I look at it, it's gold, but when I turn it to you all, it's blue. Okay. I mean purple. Okay. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just put the purples on the lid and then the gold. So I want to like start off with this purple in the back with this dab on top of it, and then just put this red toward the inner corner part, and then we put this shade in the actual inner corner. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Did I take my makeup removal wipes out of here? Oh God, I think I did. That's okay. I'll have to get up and get them when I go to do the third look, but that's fine. Brush. I need a flat brush to start off with this stuff on the lid. So where is it? Okay, so we're going to start with Alter Ego #1 brush. And I'm going to start off with that darker shade toward the back like I told you all I was. So we're going to start with that like right back here. So that's what we're looking like. I'm liking that. Then that lighter purple, I said I was going to put that. And then that one that shifts from purple to red, I'll dab on top of that. And then we're going to put the actual like bright red toward the very front of the eye. So I'm just blend this lighter one on top of the darker one. Have a nice little ombre effect situation deal vibe here. I feel like these are blending quite nicely and easily, because I heard like the formula had changed a little bit. So I'm gonna take my finger now, and that topper one I showed you all, this one, I just go over this real quick like that to like brighten it up a little bit. And look at that, y'all. It just looks so amazing. Yes, I'm here for it. It is definitely a vibe. Now we're gonna switch this brush on the clean side and put the red like right in that inner corner, like right up in here. So red gonna go right there. And I think I might dab back into that shimmer to tap over this so it'll blend it a little easier and evenly. But I'm trying to build up the red first. And then we can tap the other part over it so you might not see the transition a little bit better. Okay. Let's go ahead and tap a little bit more of that shade. Right over and through here. And see, now I feel like you can't really see the transition of the color because that shimmer is right above the top. So I can't see it. So I'm hoping that means you can't see it either. Let me take a little bit more of that red shade because I feel like it's got lost now that we added all the shimmers. So I'm gonna dip back into the burgundy that we originally blended to get all this to look like this. But I'm not gonna go on the outer V because I feel like that darker shade is working to our advantage because you can't see that much of the shimmer in it, and that works for me. Now the clean brush, and I put dark brown pencil in my waterline so I could have something in there as opposed to not putting anything on the lower lash line because y'all know I'll have to do like a whole bunch of different looks. So okay, so this is pretty much the first look with the Star Wars side. Let's take the gold color and pop it in the inner corner real quick. And that's the look. I'm here for it. It's a vibe. Okay, let's move these brushes out the way so I don't accidentally use them again. I'll probably use the inner corner brush again. So let me dust that on my hand real quick. So we can use that again because I see another gold shade on the other side that we're going to use with the Divinity palette now. And I'll probably just use that as that inner corner color as well. We'll see. Even though I kind of want to do a more bronzy look with this shade and then just reverse and put the purples and stuff in the inner corner. So we'll see. But let's get started. So in Jackie's palette, I'm thinking I want to take Credit on the outer V, this one right here. And then maybe put like Big Wig in the crease. So let's start with Credit. I mean, like, y'all, any reason I can find to use the Jackiana palette, I am all for it. So when Morgan Turner was like, it'll pair great with this, I'm like, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I'm going to pair it and we will find out, ma'am. So I'm just trying to give smokiness to the outer V before we go in with the purple shade. I'm going to try to make sure I use another brush because I have a feeling I might have to go in again with the brown shade to get the crease together. And I don't want to, you know, risk it. So I'm just blending it up to the crease. Probably like halfway toward the middle of the eye. Then we stopping right there. So it's looking good. It's looking good. Now I'm going to take my Sigma E33 detailed crease brush and we're going to go in with the Big Wig shade like I talked about. Wait, no. I just thought about it. We said we're going to put the purples in the creases and stuff, so we don't really need to use Big Wig. I'm going to take the color, I think I'm going to mix edges and ginger together. Yeah, I'm going to start off with ginger and then I will add edges on to like deepen the crease, if you will. So you've changed that ginger. And since it's a diffused crease brush, it's not putting a whole bunch of product there, which is fine because we're going to lay another product on top of it. So I don't want it getting too crazy and too ahead of itself. And then I'm over here like, oh, Lord. Got too much color on and you did too much and it's too late. We don't want that. And I'm trying to make this the more neutral eye, since I feel like the other one had a whole bunch of colors, so you had to use a whole bunch of color. But with this one, you don't have to. So I'm trying not to, you know, overwhelm it. Let's see. Let's get a clean brush to save my Sigma E40. Just dust all up in the crease here. As you can see, these colors just look soft and nice on the lid. But now we need to figure out what shimmer we're going to use. So we got nothing but shimmers to choose from. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this shade on the outer V, this one toward the middle of the eye, this one toward the front of the eye. And then I'll figure out what we're going to do with like the purples, which I feel like we should just put the purples in the inner corner. Because I did that in another look, but I didn't like the way it turned out. So I'm hoping I'll like the way it turned out in this look, because, you know, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna take this brush. And start with this bronzy looking shade on the outer V. I feel like it's pulling more red though as I put it on. It's reminding me of that shade in her red holiday palette that came out a couple of years ago when she first started doing the 6 pans. Like, that's what this color is reminding me of, y'all. Matter of fact, let me swatch it so you can see what I'm talking about. It looks exactly like that color, because I turn it and now it turns red. But when you look at it in the pan, it has like this, I don't know if y'all can see, but it has like a brown shift to it. But as I turn my head, it's red. So yeah, it's definitely reminding me of that particular shade. So now I'm thinking maybe I should put this other shade on top and see if it's just going to be like, you know, brown like I want. Because okay, yeah. So this one is literally just brown. And I just wanted brown, not like a shift. So now I got the bronze on the outer V that I wanted, because I wanted to make this a more neutral look. And I'm like, it's not looking neutral, mother, if, you know, that's happening. So let me swatch and show you which one I use. So I just ended up using this one, which is actually just a bronze. Like, it doesn't change in any color when I put it on, but as you can see, this one is that color, but this one is literally just the bronze I wanted my outer V. So I just put that, and then I'm gonna have to go in with Jackie's palette like I thought I was, which is why I didn't use the brushes together. So now we're gonna go into the gold shade and put that towards the center of the lid, and then put that champagne shade toward the front, and then we're gonna put these purples in the inner corner, which I know is not a traditional thing, but you know, that's what I felt like doing, so that's what I'm doing. So I think this is blending like quite nicely, actually. So you can see you got the gold, but you still got a little bit of champagne. I mean bronze. I feel like I need to put a little more bronze here. So let's, I don't want the gold overpowering it. So okay, that's looking like a nice little shift. Bronze, gold. And then I'm going to put the little champagne shade in the inner corner, but I need to get another brush for that. Let's see. I'll take this Wet n Wild brush and take, this topper is. Look at that. That's the one I was trying to put toward the inner corners, but it doesn't want to pick up on this Wet n Wild brush. So I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of pressing it in and trying to see if it'll like work that way, because I can't sticking my finger toward my inner corner. It's not gonna work that well. Okay, it's doing a little something, not a whole lot. So it's not picking up that well on this brush, but I feel like it's just this brush. Like, I feel like if I use the reference number 2, this would be fine, but I've already started using this one, so we're just gonna go with this one. So yeah, I try to give y'all a more subtle eye look, but now I'm gonna go back into Jackie's palette and take the color Credit, because I feel like the darkness on the outer V has totally disappeared, and all you see is like the champagne, and I mean the copper, and I'm like, I want you to see the dark outer V work. So go back in and put it back on, and then we're gonna take my E40, dust in between here again, so you get more of a nice like sunset looking eye. I would put the purples underneath the lower lash line just to add some vibrancy to this color, but y'all know I still got to do a whole another look like we just discussed, or else I would totally do that for you, but I cannot. A little bit more copper, just feel like it's being stolen. And then we got to put a little bit more gold, because I feel like it's starting to Okay, so let's watch the finished look for both of these eyes. Let me pick one of these purples, put in the inner corner. Let's see. Let me swatch both of those real quick. So it's this one. I think I'm gonna use the more subtle one. So like that one right there, and it changes to like a red when you turn. So I feel like that'll look cool. I don't want to use the sparkly one, but I will swatch the sparkly one. So let's go ahead and swatch the sparkly one. Look at that. Honey. Look at it. But it's not giving that much pigmentation off. That's weird. That's it right there. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I think I'll start off with the darker one, as usual. And then we'll go into the lighter one since it's not getting off that pigmentation anyway. Okay, now I'm going to put the lighter purple on top of this. But in real life, I'd just put the lighter purple in the inner corner. And we'd put that darker purple on the lower lash line. So that way we could utilize all the shimmers from this quad. But yeah, so these are both the eye looks using the original like Star Wars colors. Now I'm going to go off camera and take all this off. And then we're going to go ahead and use the middle quad, which is the last one we need to use, and then we're gonna talk about our thoughts on this palette. So I will be right back. Okay, y'all, so we here for the last look. I ended up putting a lip liner on since I had to go get the makeup removal wipes to wipe the stuff off my hand and off my eyes anyway. If I had it sitting here, I wouldn't have done it, but I was like, since we had to go anyway, you know. Anyway, so we're gonna go in with the middle row now, and then we will give my thoughts on this palette. I feel like I gave a couple of hints about it while I was talking with y'all through the looks, but just like my overall general review, we will save until the end. Right now, I'm just pulling out brushes because, as usual, I don't be prepared with brushes. Now, I'm trying to decide if we're going to use both mattes because I feel like using both mattes isn't necessarily necessary. I might end up doing it just because, though. But yeah, let's see. I feel like my looks gonna end up looking like a lot like Andrea Renee's, which I'm hoping it doesn't because I don't want to be looking like I'm copying somebody else's look. But because I'm just using like the new shades in the quad, like I used all six I used 6 shades in each quad, I feel like I'm gonna end up having a similar look to hers. But it's like, oh well, I can't do too much about that, so you know, we're just gonna do what it do. So I'm gonna take the dark brown shade at the top of the quad, since this is the quad with the most mattes in it, and start here in the outer V. And I'm gonna do what I usually do, is carry the color halfway to the middle of the eye. So I usually stop about right there. Let's start right after you pass the brow bone. Okay, so that looks pretty nice and blended. So I'm wondering if any of the colors in Jackie's palette are similar to this one, since Morgan Turner thinks they're a great companion palette. I'm thinking about doing some swatches at the end, comparing some of Jackie's colors to these colors. So, you know, we can get an idea. Okay, we're gonna take the clean brush as usual and start dusting everywhere. Okay, so that's what the outer V is looking like. Now we're gonna take the mauve shade here in the front, put that one in the crease, and then we're gonna start figuring out lid shades. Cause I'm thinking the darker green on the outer V, then layering it with the other green, and the purple on the lid, and that shimmery shade toward the back. But we will see. I'm gonna take my crease brush from e.l.f. and New Bella Noir and start blending this color into the crease. As you can see, it's quite light, so it's not doing that much for me. But once we get the shimmers in there, I figure, you know, it won't matter how light the shade is, because it is quite light. When you blend into the other shade, I feel like you see it a little bit better, so maybe I should blend a little further back so you can actually get an idea of it being there. Or maybe I should just blend it on top of this one, and then that way it give it like more of a color, because right now I feel like you hardly see the shade at all on my skin tone. Although I like shades like this, nice little dusty, rosy, mauvey type shades. Now I'm so hot because I'm sitting underneath these lights, and then I got the heat on. Even though it's daytime now, it's not as cold as it is at night. So I meant to turn the heat off. I forgot I'm going to turn it off when I get ready to leave and go run the errands I need to run, though. Because it's like I don't like to leave it on when I'm not here. Because it's like there's nobody here, so who's the heating? We're not going to waste money on that, though. Okay, so I didn't pull out a brush for the shimmers. Hold it, please. Where's my record 2? I think I'm going to just go ahead and use that. I'm pretty sure I put it back in here from when I washed this stuff last night. So it's a case of finding it. No, that's 13. Oh, here it is. My record 2. So we're going to take this one. And first of all, I'm going to swatch all the ones I'm thinking about using on the lid. And like on the outer V and stuff. And then that'll help us determine like which ones to actually use. Like y'all know I love a color like this. Like, yes, mother, yes. So these are the 3 I'm thinking about using. Of course, we're going to use the purple. Just a case of wear. Ooh, that dual chrome looks nice. Like when you turn it over, then it has like a purple blue reflect. But at first, when you see it, it's green. So I'm definitely going to utilize that on top of the purple. And I think we're just going to put this green on the outer V. And of course, you know the champagne shade. This one just has to go in there in the corner. So that's my plan. And that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get started, people. All right. So like I said, we're going to take that darker green and pop it on the outer V. So let's start there with my reference number 2. So that's what the green is looking like on the outer V right now. It kind of reminds me of that shade Dirty Money from Desi and Katie's palette. I don't think it's as pretty as that shade. But, you know, that's the vibe that it's giving me as I put it on my eyeball. And you also see this video Monday. And I think the Dior highlighters you'll see Tuesday. And I think you'll see Charlotte Tilbury like next weekend. Because I'm not even going to try to like film with it tomorrow. Because I want to have like the best lighting when I do my luxury videos. And my glam core lives here. So unless I spend the night here because Adrian is spending the night with his dad, you won't see that video till like next week. Which I'm not in a rush to shoot, especially since, you know, it gave me a broken highlighter. And I haven't heard back from the company yet. So I'm still feeling some type of way if you can't tell. So I'm just taking that dark brown shade, trying to reinforce it back on the outer V since I feel like the shimmer took a little bit of it away. So we're trying to get that smokiness back if we can. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling it. Let's get it back on the other side now. So I have some news. I might be able to start using my camera again. If you all didn't know, the reason I use my phone is because Adriangameover made mommy a intro and outro on my phone. So I didn't dare want him to feel like mommy didn't appreciate it. So even though I have a Canon T6 Rebel camera and I have like a lens that zooms out so you can see the eye looks, I don't use it because my 11-year-old took the time to make mommy a intro and outro for her phone, and I didn't dare want him to feel like his efforts went in vain. So, because somebody had asked me one time, they was like, why don't you buy a camera? I'm like, I have a camera. I don't use it because my son thought it was important to make mommy a thumbnail. I mean, make a intro and outro like I just said, and I don't ever want him to feel like his efforts or what he tries to do for mommy is in vain. So I was like, I'll just suffer through and film on my phone till, you know, he learns how to do it on the computer. But I found out recently he has learned how to do it on the computer. So I'm like, sweet. So now I can get him to make me one on my laptop, and then I can start filming with my camera again. So I can bring my camera here and have awesome lighting and actually a camera to film with. The only thing that sucks is I don't have a monitor, so I wouldn't know like if it cuts off or anything like that. Also, the only thing that sucks is I wouldn't be able to upload any of the videos till like I get back home Sunday night, because as you all know, my grandma doesn't have like Wi-Fi in her house because no one has lived here in like 3 years at this point. So I'm like, there's no point of me having Wi-Fi put in just to put up videos on the weekend when nobody's gonna be here, especially in the wintertime. I don't plan on being here in the wintertime. I'm gonna come over, make sure like the water is okay and all that, but I don't plan on like actually staying in this house. So yeah. So we need to take this gray shade, pop back. So I thought that was exciting news that I could share with y'all. I'm gonna talk to him when he gets back home tonight or tomorrow about making sure we get mommy an intro and outro on her computer, so that way I can actually use the camera I bought. Because I've had a camera for like a year now. All my OGs know. Like, it's not, I don't have a camera. I just don't use it because Adriangameover. A little bit more brown in the crease here real quick. Okay, so now we're going to layer this shade on top of the purple. And look how gorgeous that looks. So pretty, I don't even mind putting it on with my finger. And I'm not a person who likes to put shadows on with their finger, but I'm like, this looks so pretty, so like I feel like it's fine. It's okay. I will do it. I'm trying not to cover up too much of that purple. I feel like I should have built it up like a little bit more, because now I feel like you don't really see it that much. So I might try to bring in this inner corner a little bit more just so you can see it a little bit better, because right now I feel like all you see is like the bluish purple thing. But I feel like the purple is peeking through just a tad bit, which I'm fine with, because it's not like y'all didn't see me put it on, so it's not like you don't know it's there. In pictures, you might not be able to see it, but like I'm thinking about blending into the crease a little bit so that way you can see it with the brush that I used the brown with. Oh wait, no, I have another brush I can use. Where is that Luxie brush? This one, I'm gonna use this Luxie mini angled brush, and I'm gonna take the purple and try to blend it up here in the crease a little bit so you can see that it exists. So yeah, see, now you see the purple, but you still get the effect of that awesome shimmer. And since the matte wasn't showing up that well anyway, it's not like we lost out on anything. So now let's take the clean brush once again and dust and dust. And as you can see, I got a little fallout in the inner corner here. So I'm gonna try to take my powder brush and get that out. Not that it's that big a deal. It might look good with the champagne shade, but I'm like, since, you know, it's supposed to be a champagne shade, I don't want it to be too overwhelming. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with the final shade, which is the champagne one that I showed you all earlier, and just pop that in the inner corner real quick. So let's do that. Okay, so this is the finished eye look with the middle quad. So I think it actually turned out pretty nice. I didn't expect to put the satiny purple in my crease, but once I saw I had covered up a little bit too much of it with that shimmery dual chrome shade, I was like, we got to go ahead and make sure the purple pops. So that's why I had to do that. So I'm thinking of swatching some of these shades in Jackie's palette to this palette just to see. Now, I know Jackie doesn't have like the dual chromey situation that Pat has going on with like Wigglies in that red shade. But I'm still gonna swatch like some of these to compare to other shades in here. So this is Wigglies, and this is from Mother's Palette. As you can see, they both look pretty smooth. So that's Wigglies, and this is Mother's Palette. And as you can see, they both look very nice. Let's swatch some other shades. So Jackie has, I guess I'll do Shookington against the purple shade in Mother's Palette. So that's Shookington, and that's the shade in Mother's Palette. So I'll do Shookington. That's Shookington, and then that's Mother's Palette. What else do we have? Because I'm truly intrigued because Morgan Turner said that. So I'm like, now I want to swatch some more shades. What else we got? I want to do Sponsored against that other shade, even though I know the Sponsored doesn't have the dual chrominess that the other shade is. This is just like a blue brown, I mean not green, reddish brown type situation, but still swatch it against this one because they look similar on the finger. But when you swatch them, they're not going to be exactly the same. So that's what they look like. But this one flips into a different shade. This is Pat Mcgrath one, so I try to put all Jackie's in front and then Pat Mcgrath behind it. So that's what that's looking like. We'll swatch, well, see, Jackie's brown is darker than the brown that I put on my crease for this look, but I'm going to swatch it anyway. So we're going to swatch Pat's brown. And I noticed like her, let's see. Let's do Jackie and Mother. So as you can see, Jackie's brown is much darker than Pat Mcgrath's brown is. But you know, that's cool. Is there any other shades in here I feel like look similar? I want to try Pinker. And this other shade, the Mother's Palette, this shade, you know, I feel like it's not picking up as well as it could. So this is Pinker. So that's Pinker, and this is the shade from Mother's Palette. So you see, they have like similar tones in them. So I mean, if you didn't want to spend money on Pat Mcgrath's palette, Jackie's was only $45, and then it was on sale on what do you call this website for like $30-something. So let's try Soleil and one of Pat Mcgrath's golds. Matter of fact, let's try the gold that's in my inner corner right now. So this is Soleil. This is one. If I remember correctly, Jackie said hers was more peachy tone and Mother's isn't necessarily peachy tone, but so that's Soleil, and this is the one from Pat Mcgrath's new palette. Let's try Zam and this bronzy looking shade. So I'm gonna swatch Zam and then this bronzy shade. So we're finally starting to see a difference in the colors. Like this is from Pat Mcgrath and this is Zam from Jackie. But I feel like a lot of what I first swatched looked pretty similar. So some of the shades aren't going to be the same as others. Let's see about Dwellers and another shade in Pat Mcgrath's palette so I can see how that's working out. But a lot of the shades are looking quite similar. So let's take Dwellers. That's a Dwellers. And I guess I'll take this shade right here. So this is Dwellers and this is a shade from Pat Mcgrath. So Dwellers. And see, that one doesn't look the same either. I just swatched too far, y'all, and now you can't see the color. But yeah, that's, so those are some of the shades that are in Pat Mcgrath's palette versus Jackie palette. So as you can see, we found quite a few shades that were like similar. And I know everybody doesn't want to spend Pat Mcgrath money. So it's like, and somebody has a dupe palette. It's C Colors. They have a dupe palette of Jackie's exact colors for like $10. So if you can get your hands on Jackie's palette, you can get the dupe colors of hers for $10. And since the Pat Mcgrath one has a lot of similar shades that's in Jackie's palette, you might be able to hook up a pretty awesome deal for yourself. But my thoughts on this palette are, I think it's awesome. I think the quality is really nice. I mean, the only shade I felt like didn't really work for me that well was the pink one, but that's because it doesn't go with my skin tone that well. It was kind of ashy, but otherwise I feel like all the colors worked fine. The brown did feel gritty when I swatched it though. I don't know what's going on with that, but it felt gritty just like in this palette. I feel like this one felt gritty when I swatched the mattes in it as well. Let me take the, yeah, I felt like this matte and this matte felt gritty too when I swatched this palette. But otherwise, like, you know, the quality of it is definitely there. It's just like when you swatch it, you can feel the difference, but I didn't feel the difference when I blended it out on my eye. So I would recommend you that you get this palette. It's an extra value for Pat Mcgrath. If you are a Pat Mcgrath shopper, you know, like I do, it's exceptional deal. As far as this lip stick goes, I'm not that impressed with it. I don't want to buy any more of them. I'm not really big on the lip shine trend though. Every once in a full moon I'll use like the ones I bought from Fenty just to try out. And the only one I truly like is Makeout Break. I don't really like the other one I got that much. I forgot the name of Glazed, that one. I'm not really big a fan of that one. But yeah, so I recommend the palette. I'll try the mascara in another video. The lipstick, I mean, if you want a nice lip shine, you can buy the Rihanna ones from Fenty Beauty for cheaper than this one. This one I think was like $32 or $38, and I don't necessarily see that it's worth that much. Her lip glosses are definitely worth it though. I will not say don't buy her lip glosses. Her lip glosses are worth every penny. But like this lip glaze, I'm sorry, this lip shine, I'm not that big a fan of. So those are my thoughts on this collection. Part 2 will be coming up when it gets here with the quads. And I have a couple of quads that I feel like look similar to the blue quad that she has coming out with. So we will compare those and do a whole bunch of other stuff, because I want to compare all my holiday highlighters too. So we'll get into that and a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, let's finally finish this video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful with the 3 eye looks I did. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.